when the clutch line was going, it's kind of amazing how easy it was to stall this puppy because I'm so used to the clutch not, disengaging with this much travel left in the pedal. Three episodes ago, we were still doing some stuff for the build, or I guess kind of while the car was at the cage guy. In the meantime, I received a call from Adam Brock with bad news. Allow me to recreate the moment. Bring! Hello? Oh no. Oh no. So, allow me to skip back a number of episodes to the point where I was taking off the all of the interior roofing bits and uncovering the sunroof and starting to take that off. In fact, it's made of the same tubing as the rest of them, but it doesn't quite connect to this corner of the sunroof. Well, it turned out that all of the water that the sunroof was leaking was basically running down the A-pillar and then backwards into the rocker panels and eating everything away from the inside. So the outside didn't look too terrible for a car that had spent part of its life in Pennsylvania. And then Adam put his thumb through it. So I started searching for a new shell. Perversely enough, Adam was kind enough to find me one. So if you're building a rally car, go with Adam Brock. He's not only a good cage builder, but also an ethical guy and very helpful. And likes Volvos, so that's also a plus. Anyway, calls me, finds me a new car, and I guess I have to introduce that now because I'm about to build that. And I was supposed to start the driving footage already this morning, but it looks like that I'm going to have to charge it a bit. Unfortunately, the cables didn't reach all the way with my existing extension cord, so I had to use a second extension cord to get it across here. And now it's charging. In the meantime, I can kind of look over the engine bay. Some of this, obviously, I'll have to, retake out. All the insulation is intact. The engine cover's a little more solid here. I do have the timing belt cover sitting in the car. This actually has the intact heat shield, although I have to figure out how that's connected underneath because I don't remember having these little studs on the previous exhaust manifolds, so can't wait to see what's under there. I suspect that the battery drain was caused by this aftermarket subwoofer that was attached. We've already done the radiator hose replacement with the silicone hoses, so that's nice. Now remember this panel is actually intact on this car with 0 screws holding it down. Great. This has the Euro Appearance Package front bumper, or front grille. I forgot to check if the lights work. Whatever. And this actually has both engine hoist eyes, so that'll probably be a little bit kinder to the engine than wrapping the fabric loops around it that I did before. Also probably more properly grounded in this case. have the car back from the mechanic. The plan was to take the car to the mechanic. I shot some footage of the exterior, take the car to the mechanic, get it inspected for state inspection purposes so that it's road legal, and then bring it back, do the interior video that I'm doing now, and talk about the car while I'm doing it. Fate had other plans, though. One of the things I was going to complain about was the fact that the clutch didn't disengage until you were touching the firewall, and that you basically had to like really reach to get the clutch to disengage. Well, apparently that was a sign that the line was going, and the line blew at the mechanics, actually, which was really convenient as things go. I suppose there's worse places to have a clutch line blow. And I took him the old one from the black Focus, and apparently the slave cylinder, or maybe just the general clutch or whatever, they changed something, and it didn't fit. So then I had to wait while a local line shop manufactured a new clutch line. So now I have hard line that goes into stainless, that goes into hard line, which is awesome. I also discovered that something is draining the battery. I thought it was the aftermarket subwoofer that has a professional, like a relatively decent looking install on it. So I took that cable off, or actually just did not take the cable. Did not. Anyway, so I disabled that by pulling the fuse, and I assumed that that would no longer drain the battery, because the battery actually tested fine. It didn't seem to be a battery issue, but something's still draining it, and I don't know, it might take just ripping out everything to figure out exactly where that is. In either case, I have the car back. I'm not sure that whether the oil temperature sensor is dead or whether this display is dead. It intermittently shows me a little bit of oil pressure, but it has never showed me the oil temperature. This features a short throw shifter much like the other one, and it is just as good as the other short throw shifter, which is to say it sucks. And I'm not convinced that the synchros aren't going bad, because there are times when the 1-2 shift is a lot easier if I double clutch it, which was something new to me. I've never had to do that before, because modern transmissions. Other than that, though, the mechanicals are a pretty standard SVT from what I had before. The interior is the EAP, which I like to pronounce EAP and sound very Michael Jackson-esque, which I probably shouldn't now that I think about it. But it stands not for Emergency Action Plan, but for Euro Appearance Package. Leather Recaro seats, different dash panels, different door panels. The seats are heated. None of this matters to me because all this shit's coming out. The one thing that I feel was a tangible benefit, and not just for appearance only, was the fact that it came with stock HIDs instead of the old school halogen bulbs. I don't know how much difference that's really going to make, because let's face it, on a stage I'm going to need like serious lighting. So this is just for when I'm in road legal mode and it's dark. Which is all good. It's throwing an engine to fuel too rich code, which is fine. Might be an oxygen sensor. I have one left over from the other Focus, although frankly that engine has a lot fewer miles on it. This came with 230,000. So I'm very much inclined to just transplant the other engine into this, since I put the race clutch in, the race clutch in that tranny anyway. So basically my goal at this point is to strip the hell out of this and then drop the engine, take it to Adam for the cage, And while this is getting the cage put in, I can take everything out of the other Focus that I need for this one. So, yeah, there are times when I just take first up fast enough and just go 1-3 because getting it to 2 is such a pain. Anyhow, I think one of the rules of owning an SVT is that you have to have at least 2 stickers on the exterior. All right, so I have a more specific deadline, and I have to get the car done in 6 weeks, 5 if you count the fact that we're traveling to Denver. I think I can work faster than I did last time because, one, all the points where I had to stop because I didn't have the right tool, I'm not going to have that problem. I'm always going to have the right tool. 2, things that I had to kind of trial and error until I figured out how to get off. I've already done the trial and error, so I can figure out how to get things off. Okay, so let me find a different way to phrase that. But in either case, this is all things that I've done before in the previous episodes, and I'm not going to reshoot all of the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to use a lot of time lapse because why watch these things twice? And also I work faster if I'm not changing angles all the time and shooting fresh video and everything, so... Let's get this thing back in the hole, and I guess I'll reweigh it too, just for completeness' sake. Well, if nothing else, I left myself a considerably bigger aisle this time. A lot less room on the other side and in the rear, though, so this is going to be fun. So this one is coming up considerably heavier than the other one, both of which are coming up way over the alleged curb weight. And this doesn't even have a full tank of gas, it has like an 8. Yeah, this is more than 100 pounds heavier. Ugh. Alright, so we have at least now officially introduced the car that we took to SOFR and STPR. So we're kind of caught up on that. Unfortunately, that completely removes any sort of tension that I might be able to generate with this outro leading up to, will I have the car ready for the cage guy in 5 weeks? And I guess we already know the answer to that one. And at some point I should probably also tie Phil down and interview him the way I had intended to, so that we can kind of officially introduce him, even though you've seen him running around on the race videos. Unfortunately, I managed to crack the end of the transmission case that is the rear motor mount, so we're not going to have any footage from Boone Forest, because we're not going to make it in time, I don't think. So unless we have a heroic effort from the tranny shop, but I don't see that happening, so I guess we won't have race footage for a couple of months, for a couple of events at least. So I think Ojibwe in August is probably reasonable. In the meantime, I'll do a couple of build videos and whatever else footage I can get my hands on, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. I've switched mechanics. I took it over there not only to have the state inspection done, but to have the R134 pulled from the refrigeration, the air conditioning system. His mechanic comes over to him and says, "Hey boss, are you fucking with me?" It's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You saw me pulling the air conditioning machine out to suck the R134 out." He's like, "Yeah." It's like, there's no air conditioning compressor in that car. So it's already removed, which, that'll save me a couple steps.